We had 24 birds in 3 days. The bad thing is it's going here.
Can you pass this for me after you sign up to?
It's working now.
Is it?
Thank you.
She's like a net.
And it came out.
Yes. She's there. That's the way to get things done, you know.
So drive over there, pull up, lights run the house.
Persistent.
Tom, you teach her how to be that aggressive with all this
There's no
stuff?
law enforcement there.
No?
You get something like that, you just go.
What's up with your mustache? Do you let it grow on purpose?
If I go over there,
We read it. Really?
He's gonna cover his face.
I hear nothing. I
Because
start walking back and I see legs.
we have read so many.
So if I knock on it again, I saw
Blood work.
As
long as ours was.
Are you about to lose your voice there, Brooke? Oh, really?
Yeah, cut the grass.
I wish I would've known that. I'd come by more often.
You can use a walker. You can follow.
Get, yeah, the great.
You big room, small bathroom, pretty small. He's sitting on the
But you get some kind of.
There's a reason just lived in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like a pass.
Okay, got
Pointed off the hill and everybody said, "You're nuts." No, I'm not.
it. I guess I'm first thing this year. Okay. Well, it was really cool.
So me and her get
Oh, yeah.
underneath him.
It's a fiction, but they really were
One band we played out there.
I called
Yeah,
them. 3 hours and
something struck
firefighters.
me about
well, I tried selling books.
Nobody could do
I mean,
nothing.
I get people to
Took a sheet, tied it around his ankle.
read it, but.
Got right in the middle of the bathroom, right in the middle of the bedroom, so he gets.
That's Grant's spot, I think. Is that Grant's spot?
Switch sides.
Because that's his, you can either move the sign.
They're moving, yeah.
That's his.
That chair's already got his butt groove in it.
Year and a half bringing this thing in. Don't we just do whatever you want, Chris?
He doesn't know they just changed the chairs.
You know this is an ops meeting, right? Calm down. Robert rules of order. Stellar. Ready. Got cameras out, just got people all in the middle of the room. Waved at you. You waved at me back. I want everybody to see this, hold on.
Yeah.
It's hard to find good help, isn't
Get
it?
in line, AJ, get in line, buddy. Stay in your lane.
You guys put my fence up yet?
Just chain cross.
Oh, that's not right.
Don't jump the gun.
My goodness, I've had everybody and their cousin asking me, what are we gonna do, what are we gonna, I said, I don't know if that's not my first yet.
We've communicated through email, everybody.
That doesn't stop people from asking.
And that's talking about, yeah, people going around.
Both.
Oh, yeah. The first one's no big deal, but the one up there between the burns.
All right, we got 7 o'clock, please rise. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everybody. This is the April 29th HLPOA operations meeting. After this meeting, we will have an opportunity for folks to ask questions around the covenant vote. We can have whatever discussion you want around that, but during the operations meeting, there won't be any discussion on the topics, as that's only reserved for the board meeting. So first order of business is the electronic burn pile gate. Jeff Brooks.
Right now, we're just waiting for the fence company to come out, get the fence put up, and start getting all that process going. At that point, Ken's gonna get with Hendricks Power to get the electricity run. Currently, there is a chain across the entrance out by the county road that says, keep out, I think. And then where the berms are at, where the gate is at, there's also a couple poles, I think 3 poles been sunk there, some chain hung across there. So far, it's not stopped everybody from going out there and dumping. There are some tracks going around it, folks dumping when they are being told to keep out. So now it's officially illegal dumping. So maybe the cameras will catch some folks and we can stop the folks who are making it bad for everybody else.
Yeah, and as a reminder, this whole issue came about by IDEM coming out and citing us, or not citing us, but warning us again about burning in that area. First time that we were warned a couple months ago, we were just given information that what we were burning was the problem, and now apparently just burning it all is the problem. So there's a hearing on Wednesday downtown to discuss this with IDEM. So I know Ken, I believe Jeff, and I are gonna be going, I don't know if anybody else. Paul. So we'll be attending a hearing downtown. I think Brian Irvin also is on the list of people to go, so hopefully we'll be able to plead our case, and if nothing else, avoid any further fines, and preferably, we'll be given some options as far as maybe we can get permits in the future to burn a little less frequently maybe, but that would at least allow us to manage the pile of stuff that's gonna accumulate over there. So until that happens, everybody is again prohibited from bringing their yard waste debris to that area. It's chained off, like we said. Any attempt to go around that and dump your stuff anyway is gonna result in a illegal dumping issue, so let's avoid that. Next item on the agenda is the new marina update.
One more thing on the, just on the discussion of the burn
Yeah.
site. Up till now, we're not burning leaves, we're just burning sticks and tree parts and the like.
Yeah, we
Correct?
never burn leaves.
So the issue for the neighborhood is primarily sticks, limbs, burnable wood,
Brush.
correct?
Yep.
So moving forward, we'll be able to continue to receive leaves from the neighborhood under how we've managed that in the past, correct?
Correct. I think our concern is that if we, right now, with no plan, if we open it up, people's gonna go back there and dump anyway. If we tell them that it's for leaves, as you can see, they're already driving around the post, they're gonna go in and continue to dump. So I think the consensus was that we can't just let it keep piling up and piling up and piling up.
Well, I understand that part, I'm looking to the future as far as what the alternatives are in this meeting, what they're gonna let us, how they're gonna let us proceed, if at all. But we do, if in fact this site becomes a leaf-only site, we are used to that at this point.
Yeah,
If
and
it
I
is a
think-
no-burn site, we can bring in leaves, period.
They are definitely in favor of the leaves decomposing. They're all for
Okay.
that.
Okay,
And I think Wednesday will be telling as far as what we're told and what we come away with,
Mhm.
and we'll have to come back together and come up with a strategy. All right, what do we do with the rest of the stuff? How do we monitor it? Where do we tell people to bring the stuff that they can't bring there anymore?
Okay.
Those are all discussions we're gonna have once we understand what our rules and regulations are against and for the use of that area. So-
And I've been awaiting a couple of quotes, one from a local trash company, to be to come out and grind the brush after we get a pile of brush ground out there, grind it, and then we can push it right into the leaf pile for additional compost, or people could take it home, you just take mulch out, or haul it away. I just haven't got those numbers yet.
So this is not the last conversation we're gonna have about this topic for sure, so hopefully we'll get some information this week. Thanks, guys. Now, next topic, the new marina update, Paul Forbes.
we met on April 16th with Brandt and Arc Design. Brandt being the construction company, Arc Design being the design company. At that meeting, we visited with the projected plans if you will, not specific plans, but architectural plans, the look of alternatives for the actual marina itself and what is possible. Out of that meeting, we are expecting numbers to come back to us as far as possibilities by the 8th of this month prior to the next board meeting. So I would suggest that after the board meeting, at the executive meeting, we will be able to give you some type of numbers of possibilities for the future site. Everyone at the meeting, the committee members, and Tom Novak all agreed that the particular marina will probably exceed the $350,000, but that's all I can tell you at this point until we get the numbers. We will have more to report.
All right, we look forward to that, Paul.
Was there a next meeting set? I missed that.
No, we're receiving the numbers on the 8th. I believe the projected meeting is the end of the month. Isn't that right, Tom?
Yes.
Yeah.
Paul, I assume that until you guys are a little more firm on, I guess, the scope, projected scope, or at least a baseline starting point and a baseline budget or cost, we're not ready to get feedback or input yet from the community, because I know there was previously discussion about having like open forums and
I think
opportunities for the people to come.
the succession of that would be for us to present to the board what we've received up to this point and have the board swallow that and come up with the board's opinion, if you will, on what we've done up to this point and submit possibly a proposal for a board meeting to take a vote on what the board would like to do in the future concerning what we come up with. And at that point, once we collectively agree or disagree or pinpoint what we're going to do, they're ready to go to the community. And they're ready to go to the community with the drawings and or specs on the operation, on the marina, and the proposal for what that marina will hold for the near future and the prospects of what it could hold in the, beyond the future.
So the community will still have an opportunity to
Absolutely.
give their input. I know
Absolutely.
we did kind of just throw it out there, see what comes back, kind of
There's a
surveyed
lot
previously, but. I
There's a
don't know
lot
if
to
I-
digest in this project
Yeah.
before we come to the community. We are not bringing to the community anything cut in stone. We are bringing to the community what we feel our best interests are from now until 10 years from now, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
This marina, we can't build it today and then rebuild it in 5 years.
Yeah.
We're looking at a marina that everybody's going to be proud of, a substantial part of this community that everybody can be proud of. And we will give them, I think, a shell for their comments, for their inputs, for their desires, for their disapprovals, if you will.
Yeah, and I
That's our
think,
plan.
yep, and I'm cool with all that. We have to have a baseline somewhere to begin with. And I think the discussion previously had always been around, we may not get everything we want at first, but we at least have to have the footprint and the infrastructure in place to build upon it later if we're gonna not be able to get everything right away, but the things will be in place there, electrical, plumbing, whatever else, the size, so we can add a kitchen or restaurant or whatever things might be an option at some point, but maybe not everything at once. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Anybody else want to have any discussion on this? Okay, thank you, Paul.
Mhm.
Appreciate it. Last item on the agenda, walking, or not the last item, but the next item on the walking trail bridge update. If you guys remember, Kyle Young, Eagle Scout, came to us and gave us some pretty cool looking plans for a bit of a suspension bridge to put in the north area, or the north side walking trail that they were previously putting mulch and just making kind of a footpath area through there. He came to us and gave us some pretty cool looking plans, but on Tom's request, he had to go to IDEM to make sure that everything he was doing wasn't going to be a problem with them, and turns out it was a problem with them, because it was, the DNR requires permits for designated floodways, of which that area is. So he's ending up having to scrap the suspension bridge portion of the project, but he's gonna go forward with just a little footbridge and maybe add some benches. So his scope is dramatically changed based on that input, but it's better that it got caught now before we got too far down the road and hauled in all the cement that he wanted to haul in for the footers and everything else. So disappointing for him for sure, but it's still gonna be an improvement over what's there.
You say, is a permit an option?
Well, he said it's out of his scope to mess with trying to get permits and stuff, so I don't think he had much interest in going that route. It said IDEM requires certain permits to build in floodways, and it's definitely in a floodway. In addition, the DNR requires permits as well, so I think that was something that he hadn't intended on having to manage, and I don't know if it's just in the interest of time, or his experience, or what his scope, what he wanted it to be, so.
I just wondered if there was a cost relevant with that we could participate.
Yeah, I don't know if his hesitation was around cost or just having to add time, expected time to the project or whatever else. It just sounded like it was just more than he wanted to.
It's a shame, because I thought it was a cool idea.
Yeah, it was a very cool idea. And I don't know, maybe the next Eagle Scout that comes along and wants to give it a shot, maybe that could be something that they want to tackle. But for now, I mean, it is what it is. The permits are stopping them at this point, so.
Maybe I get with Kyle and ask him what his heartache is on that.
Okay.
I'm just thinking if he's got connections that can do the, fathers and stuff like that can do the permits for him, but if it's like a $500
Yeah,
fee or something.
you don't want
maybe-
that to stop.
Yeah, maybe that we could help with that.
I have no problem with you having a conversation with them if that's what you want to do. Anybody else have
I
any
think it's
issues
a
with
great
that?
idea, I think it's a great
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, just to make sure that, if it is just a cost thing, that's something we can manage. All right, any other discussion on that, guys? Any questions? Okay, next item, May 27th operations meeting reschedule. I don't think any of us really want to meet on Memorial Day, so we got a couple options. We need to talk about when or if we want to just reschedule that. Tuesday is open in this room. That would be Tuesday the 28th. Or we can forgo the meeting altogether and just take agenda requests via email to Ken and myself for that operations meeting. So talk about what you guys want to do.
I like that idea. Forego.
Yeah, let's just have an email meeting.
Grant,
Email meeting sounds
Tom?
good. Same thing.
William?
Yep.
Paul?
I was thinking, you're William, what are you looking at me for? I said, yeah.
All right.
We'll have to roll the tape back to find out if you.
I'll try not to miss you guys too much, try not to miss me, so we'll just forego the May 27th operations meeting altogether. And we'll have email conversations about what you guys may want to see on the next operations meeting. Covenant vote status. The covenant vote status so far, we've got 16.6% ballots returned. It's 495 ballots to date. Returns are coming in spurts. The most returned in a week was 2 weeks ago, and the fewest was last week, so it's kind of going up and down a bit. We'll continue to promote the vote and encourage all lot owners to please ask questions if you have them and cast your vote. This isn't going away till September 2020, so you can't ignore it, because it's not gonna go away, but as soon as your ballots return, you can just ignore it, so. Until then, we'll continue to hound everybody on it. Kind of disappointing that we've only gotten less than 20% ballots returned so far, but we're not yet in busy season. And this isn't gonna be the last of our efforts, obviously. It's gonna be an ongoing thing. We've got a lot of different opportunities to become visible and try to get people to, try to make it as easy as we can to get people to complete their ballots and return them. We'll be discussing this as a board, different strategies going forward, but for now, we're just kinda letting the ballots start coming in, and we'll have more discussions on it later. You guys want to have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I had a question, I had a couple of questions. Folks who say they've already voted,
Yeah.
and then they read what it's all about, and they want to change their mind, yay or nay either way.
Not allowed to. Once you
Okay.
submit a legal a valid ballot, you cannot change your vote. So if you submit a ballot and you didn't sign it, or you didn't put your lot number, or something else that invalidated it, that can still be corrected, but you can't change what it is you voted. So if you didn't vote at all and send it in, and didn't vote at all, you'll get a call back saying, hey, you got your ballot, but you didn't complete it fully.
So we do contact them and let them know that whatever they sent in was incorrect. And that's
Jim
what-
Eulenbein is in charge of contacting anybody that has incorrectly submitted their ballot. Anybody that has submitted their ballot and there's nothing wrong with it, other than they have a change of heart, horse is already out of the barn, it's gone, and the vote is the vote. So those can't be changed.
Gotcha.
Any other questions?
At what point and what is the direction of us to contact the people that have not voted, which right now is almost everyone?
So what's gonna happen is, this is the first round, and for those of you that haven't been on the board during previous efforts for covenant changes, we typically have 3 different mailers that go out, and each mailer gets scaled down to only the people that haven't voted.
Okay.
Now, that's gonna be a pretty big number so far, so we're gonna try to still work with the single mailer that we've got out and just make ourselves visible and try to give people an opportunity to vote at the community events or at the marina or in the office or whatever. We'll continue to try to communicate that and work that, but there is gonna be a point in time where we'll pick a date and say, okay, if anybody hasn't voted by this date, we're gonna send a second mailer out, and that group will have a next opportunity, but we don't wanna jump the gun too far on that, because that's postage. I mean, we're paying a lot of money
Right.
to keep
In the
sending-
meantime, can we send out emails? Can we send out jab emails and say, if you've gotten your ballot, please send it in?
Yeah.
Almost on a weekly basis.
Right, I think we've done that, and that's the delicate balance. We've done it on social media as well as the email blasts, and I think those can be marginally effective, but the problem is if you do it too much, people are gonna see it and they're gonna just ignore it. They're gonna go, oh, I already saw this one, I'm not gonna pay attention this time either. So, yeah, we definitely have to keep communicating, and there's a lot of different ways that we can do that, and we'll start working some of those. We'll have some discussions about other things that we might be able to do to generate more interest and participation. And anybody from the community that has ideas to help with that, we're happy with that too. But there is at some point gonna be a point in time where we have to just bite the bullet, split up a list and start making phone calls or going door to door or whatever we need to do. That, we wanna make that effort as minimal as possible, so we're gonna try to get everything else done that we can do to kind of reduce the number of people that we have to do that for. Anybody else?
If I could add something, that those ballots, everyone that's listening, those ballots that went out with envelopes are used to vote. Please quit sending your assessments in those envelopes, because they go to the post office box and they're sitting there, not coming to the office. Those envelopes is used to vote, not for your assessments. We say that every year.
All right, anybody else? Okay. That's all I've got. Any other discussion? Nope. All right, if not, I'll take a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that'll close this meeting. We are gonna have, is anybody here in a position where you wanna have a discussion about the covenant ballot or the votes? Because this is your time to do that. Show of hands, nobody? All right, meeting is adjourned. We're gonna have an executive session, guys. 21 minutes.
Hey, can we, is there anyone
I
to,
got a call, I'm on call, I got calls, that was me.
I don't know what the right word is,
So we gotta make a land speed record.
mark it on the envelope when you send out the envelope with the vote. Voting only type thing with an exclamation mark, because when I look at the envelope, and I'm just telling you what my